Sorry, I didn't finish completely, but I'm just reading the part of Dr. Wang. And before you have a Chinese, like your PhD advisor, is that Dr. King?
Yeah, Dr.
Also
King, Suje
of
King. She was from Taiwan. Yeah, she's from
Taiwan.
Taiwan.
So
Yeah.
you have a lot of interaction with Chinese.
Yes.
And
Yes.
as like while reading your description about you eating the Chinese buffet, I was like, no, 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 Angie, you shouldn't go for the noodles and rice. Like we go for the most expensive food first.
I didn't know any better. I was just new in the country. I love the food, by the way. I love the food. I love it. I just ate too much and I didn't have money.
It was hilarious, that part. And you're talking about the cultural differences. When someone invites you to dinner or
Yes,
something, you're expecting that person to pay.
yes,
That was
yes, yes,
hilarious.
yes, yes, yes. And all is true because during this time, I actually had the chance to, many of this memory because B, you've been working in tech for 20 years. You keep on going, 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 going. You don't sit down to reflect. So this
Right.
was the time of my life where I actually many of the story when I came to the US, many of the learning about the culture, how I learned about the Chinese food, how I learned about American culture, all that start coming back. Oh my goodness, US. I don't want to say stupid, but you expect that somebody else will pay for you and you eat like a dog, you eat like a cow, and you don't have the money. How my friend could
Mhm.
have thought at the time, I just didn't know any better. And,
Yeah.
like all this cultural difference. Yeah.
Sorry, can I ask you one more question? Like,
Yes.
I'm curious, do you do diaries? How can you memorize all those details? I mean, it's just your English, your writing is just so vivid, so descriptive, and also it brought me back to my when I first came to the US and all that. But I was like, I forgot all those details. How could you remember all those details? You
Thank you for
know,
the question. That's a beautiful question, by the way. So when I decided to write the basically the journey of writing my memoir was not sudden. Like I decided to write it down. The past couple of years, I've been invited to different podcasts, speaking to different audience. Some were product leaders, some were black women, some were different really. And I was sharing different part of my story based on the question that was asked. And in all these podcasts or events, the audience has resonated so amazingly. You need to write it down. You need to write it down. And I never had time. I was really busy. I was really like going 200% like busy per hour. So this year is the time that when I left Meta, I actually had the time to pause. I was looking for another job. I was like, do I look? Then it was like, no, Marie-Ange, this is the time. I feel like this is the divine moment, God inspiration. You've been getting this feedback to write the memoir. I'm not a writer. I don't claim to, English is not even my first language and all that. So what I did, again, in community, seeking advice of people who have written book, there's a self-publishing. There are two routes. If somebody wants to write the book, I learn a lot, and I would love to mentor you, encourage you. There are two routes. There's the traditional publishing and there's the self-publishing. Traditional publishing are people that are usually famous, like Obama, Oprah, Trump. They have a name. So the traditional publisher, like O'Reilly, many of these companies, they are trying to make money. So they know they're going to sell the book. So they will get the traditional, they will even pay them. They can pay maybe Oprah, I don't know, making up $1 million to write and they have ghostwriter, they do everything, they do the marketing for you because they know they're going to sell. For them at the end of the day, it's business. Most people, 95%, 98% of people don't have that branding or name recognition yet. So they go through the self-publishing. It's quicker. You don't need to worry about, traditionally they take your royalty, they take a lot of stuff like they don't have right. So, but you are the one who is like you get to define your journey, what you want the book to be. You might sell or you might not sell. It's maybe most of the time mission driven, inspirational. So there are different companies that help with that. The company that I use was selfpublishing.com. Self-publishing. I'm not trying to sell you something. I'm just telling you. So what the company, I wrote everything, but they actually help you with a roadmap because I didn't know anything. I had no idea. I'm a technologist, right? I'm not an author who has been in this business. They help me. This is like the number of word, number of page. Maybe you strike to have 1,000 words per week. I forgot, even we had a run. She asked me, when do you want to publish? I had a coach. I tell her the time and she helped me to go through. You have to go through the first draft, then professional editorial, then then book cover, they explain you the process. So as part of the first draft is the most important. Like, that's where people take 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, depending on your inspiration, because it's your story, or your, depending on the time that you had. So I was not working, so I took full time to write. I wrote my first draft in 1 month, just writing, sitting down 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. before my kids. I have two kids, 10 and 8 years old. They were at school when I was writing. So from 8 to 4 p.m. I was writing. One thing that my coach Alia, give her all the credit. She was amazing. She helped me a lot in that. When you forget, go back to your picture, your childhood picture. So when I came to the US, it was the old-fashioned way. There was no digital iPhone and all that. I have a lot of picture from album, like hard copy picture, hard copy of me, a baby, of me growing up. So she told me, put your picture on the table, on the desk, and think about it. Memory will start coming back. And she was correct. So different event of my life that felt really, first you have to do active mind mapping in product management, technology, even designer. You do mind mapping. What are the big story of your life that you think you want, and the sky is the limit. Don't limit your mind. Just go anywhere. About fertility issue, break up, this, Chinese food, different thing. Getting my driver license, the different story that come. You might not remember the detail. Just put them on the mind mapping. Then you start collecting which one goes together. Like mine was Cameroon before the US, then my first few days, weeks in the US, then my undergrad being broke, starting from nothing, then Berkeley, then corporate America, then my legacy. So you will start collecting different theme that makes the chapter. But when you forget a story, to your point, picture help. Picture help. So I had a lot of picture from when I came to the US. There was no digital. So my best friend, like Jackie and Margaret that I mentioned, who took me to the Chinese food. Margaret was Chinese. So I still have picture of us doing stuff. And that memory came back right away. Marianne, do you remember the first time they took you to a buffet, and you ate like a dog? You were so full you couldn't even move, and then you didn't have the money. So many of the memory, that's how it came. And I did the second thing she told me, you can interview people. So I did at least 20 interview. If you have still friends, classmate friends from on many of my friends, they are I recognize them in my acknowledgement section. So many of my childhood friends, when I was 6, 7, I kept in touch with many of them. So I actually send them a survey, ask them, what do you remember about our friendship? What was some of the highlight? What you remember about Marie-Ange? What are some of the fights we had? What are some of the, different things? So based on the answer I got from all these people, you start putting together. When you had B in class, you were crying in middle school. When I remember that my faith in God, you are the one who encouraged me in my faith in God. So many, you were a leader already in that. I was like, oh, I don't remember this leader. Oh, you are right. I led this conference, right? So many of my childhood friends start remembering different things that they remember about me, so that I can make it as authentic as I can. I hope it helps. So the picture and doing like a survey, going back to family member. I did that with my dad side. I don't know my dad's side. My mom was a single. She raised us when they divorced. So I didn't know my dad's side of the family. So I went to my auntie. How was it like when you guys grew up, 12 kids? How did the grandparents? I don't remember. So that part of the thing, I didn't remember. My auntie helped me to bring some of the memory.
Oh my gosh, that's really great tips.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, now I know your tricks. Like, how you able to memorize all those details?
yeah,
That's great. I
yeah.
mean, otherwise people can start doing a diary.
I have few diary, really, some of the book, some of the journal about some specific, my breakup. I talk about going to Mozambique on a mission trip. The diary where somebody told me you're going to be writing a book. That was in my diary. I look back 20 years ago. If you read, I don't know if you got to chapter 7 or 8 already, where I had a bad breakup. I was engaged, and the guy broke my heart. Then I go to a mission field in Mozambique, in the poorest, one of the poorest land, and I'm in the dust and all that. And somebody tell me by prophetical divine thing that you're going to be writing a book. And I'm like, what? I'm not a writer. I'm not an author. I'm not. She asking that I wrote down. That was in my book. That is in my journal. I can show you that. I can show
Did,
you that. So stuff like that. Yeah.
since you're on that, can I ask one more question before
Yeah.
I let other people? I mean, I know I have a lot more question, but one more question since you're
Yeah.
on Mozambique, that
Okay.
part, because I'm not a believer yet, but I'm BSF,
Okay.
and Jennifer is with me, BSF, studying
Okay.
Bible,
Okay.
and you wrote several like blind woman, their eyesights, and the cookie keep multiplying, and the people limp like start walking again. I mean, are those real? I mean, I'm still not a believer. I'm just studying Bible.
I love your question. Thank you for being so honest and so real. It's okay. You don't have to believe. That's actually why I wrote that chapter, because I really wanted to open the door for a conversation about God, about the Bible, about the divine to people who don't believe in the Bible, which is fine, which is really fine. That's where I was going, that direction. And my intent is not to convince anybody, is to share that God is real and what he has done in my life. And I'm glad you are doing BSF. By the way, I did BSF. I love Bible Study Fellowship. That's a good doorway to ask question. Ask question. Yes, I saw the blind sing. That's what I wrote it down. Because I've read the New Testament since if you begin on my story, 11 years old, where I encountered Jesus, and I gave my heart, and we grew up as a Catholic in Cameroon. That was what we knew. But I didn't have that relationship that God is really real. It was just something that the family does, go to church, or maybe like when you're a Muslim or a Buddhist or a Hindu, it was something family. So it was not really something personal that I really are there. It's when I had that encounter when I was 11. I was a kid, I still remember. And even through my journey, when I was going through up and down, you saw when I go through up and down, the bad crazy, I still, God, you are there. You're gonna open the door. Even when I didn't have money, I told you, I cried, God, I need a miracle. I just knew that there was a God who loved me, who is real. So in my breakup time, when I shared that experience, I was depressed. That's the first time of my life where I'm depressed. And I used to have quick answer for people who tell me they are depressed. Oh, it's because you don't pray, or you don't trust God, or maybe because I don't know. I used to have those quick answer. But at that moment of my life, I'm like, I still believe in God. I still trust God. But I'm depressed. I actually was like, God, take me home. If you are real, I don't want to live with this sadness. And I find myself, okay, let me just book a ticket and to go to Mozambique. You can Google her, please Google her. Heidi Baker, Iris Ministry. You can Google and just read for yourself and decide what you believe. Me, I met her once, and I said, I'm going to see what is happening in Mozambique. I need to see God. If God is real, I want to see it in action. So I arrived, no expectation really. It's one of the poorest country in the world, and it still is. No fancy. We didn't have bathroom, clean bathroom. We're living like in refugee camp, to be honest. But I saw the Bible. I saw the New Testament I've been living in my life. Kids praying for sick people, blind people. There were a lot of people. I'm not going to claim all the blind people saw. That's not what I'm saying. But I saw at least one or two or three. What the Bible, even in the Bible, it doesn't say all the blind people saw. But they say when they believe and when they want healing, they come and we pray for them and they were healed. And so the thing that really shocked me, like I say, was the cookies. Because why do I know there was multiplication? It's because I really wanted one cookie. And there was 100 of, I don't know if I can say 100, a lot of people in the room. And one missionary from the US just brought a box. The regular cookie that you buy at Safeway, the cheap one, not even like junk food, really junk food. But my stomach was craving for sweet because I ate just rice and bean for almost 3 months. I was tired of rice and beans. So I was like, I just want something sweet. There was no store. I mean, you're in the middle of you're in village of village. There's no store where you can get sweet. And I see that box of cookie and my heart is leaping. How am I going to get just one cookie with all the people? And here you go, Heidi Baker pray. She doesn't even complicate the prayer. She said, God bless this food. May it be a blessing to everybody. And she start passing the box, and the box keep on coming, and the box keep on coming. And I get one, and I get two, I'm like, what is happening? Isn't that multiplication? And it's not the first time those people have been talking about God multiplying fried chicken, because the kids don't eat chicken. They don't eat protein. She's been talking about stuff like that. I was like, are you guys kidding me? And for me at that moment, to tell you the truth, the message I got, it was not about the cookie or it was like God told me, I see you, Marie-Ange. You are in pain, you've been hurt, and I love you. That's the message I felt. It was for me because I pray at that moment, God, I just want one cookie. I'm not asking you for too much. Can you just give me one cookie? And then I get another cookie, and then I get a cookie. That was like an answer to prayer where I was sobbing in that depression, where I knew in the midst of the poverty, God still knew me and he still had a plan for my life. So I'm happy you are in BSF. I just want to encourage you to continue to seek and pursue. And I'm sure that as you seek God, the Bible says he will reveal himself to you. That's my encouragement to you. But thank you for asking. That's why I wrote that chapter.
Well, you guys can ask. Well, we take turns, not,
Question.
yeah, just me asking
Well,
questions.
take the I'm Wei. Hi.
Hi.
Um Hi. Um I just so feels like you're so blessed that you have so much faith in God. And I just have a question actually to most of the Christians that if so how you say, things bad things happen in life, and so, what if bad things happen? How do you keep your faith? Um, Saying like, is God real? How you that part, like how you get to keep your faith even during the difficult times.
Well, thank you for the question. I didn't expect all this deep theology, religious question, but it's beautiful. I love it. I love to share about my faith and how I deal with difficult situation, because yes, we all face difficult situation, and that was the point. I was not trying to sugarcoat my journey, that as a person of faith, it's going to be easy because maybe you believe in God and everything is correct. No, actually, I was actually trying to be real and vulnerable, that it was tough, and it's still tough. I mean, there are time I don't have the answer. I don't claim to have all the answer, but what I've learned, that's where I want to go back, and that's why I shared the experience that I had when I was 11 years old, where religion and faith was not just an additional accessory in my life, where I am somebody else during the week. And maybe for us Christian, on Sunday we go to church and I'm something different. It was actually the foundation of who I am. That I encounter a God who is real. That's number one. It's not just a metaphysics or a force. It's actually real. And in the person of Jesus Christ, he wants to have a relationship with every human being. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't matter where you are from China, from Cameroon, from America, from everywhere. And he promised that he will be with you in the time of trouble. That's my faith. That's what the Bible say. Jesus, when he left, when he died, he resurrected, he said, you're gonna have trouble, but I'm gonna be with you. So through all the downs of my journey, to be honest, I've been like, I was broke. I shared that experience where I'm like, how am I gonna finish school, God? My mom already paid everything. I don't have the money. In that moment of 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 crying and not seeing the future, one thing that I had is that God knows why, and he's going to make a way. I don't know how he's going to make a way. That's where faith comes from, where I trust God, I pray, I give him my best, my all. I do what, I'm not just sleeping and just praying. That's not what I'm saying, right? If you read the book, I say, okay, I'm going to take as many units as I can. I'm going to work in the evening, try, but it was not enough. At the end, when I came back, if you remember the flag back from my internship from UCSD to Virginia, I said, God, I need a miracle. The money I made is not enough. And out of the blue, I got a scholarship that I was not qualified. What do you call that? Some people can call that the force or the universe. It happened to anybody. For me, this is God. For me, this is God. Out of the, I was not qualified. It was a fellowship, a scholarship by the National Science Foundation. I was not a US citizen. I was an international student at the time. So on the paper, I was not qualified. They made an exception. Even the 26 unit, you are not allowed to take 26 unit. I mentioned I had to go to my academic affair and ask him and pray, God, please touch his heart, right? I'm talking about my fertility issue. If you remember the fertility, I couldn't have kids, where the doctor told us that because of fibroid, I cannot have children. Through that journey, it was a hard journey. It was hard. I'm not even going to kid. It was hard. That was 10 years ago. My daughter is 10. But through the journey, I learned to release control. I learned to, God show me, having a baby was becoming an idol. Said, do you want to give it up? What if you never had have a baby? Am I enough? And I had to get to the point that, God, you are enough. And then when I say I dropped that, God, we got pregnant. So for me, yeah, to answer your question, that's why I share about what happened when I was 11 years old as a kid. My foundation is trusting in an invisible God who is actually real. Is real. Is really real. I talk to Jesus every day like I talk to you. I'm not spooky, by the way. I'm not spooking, but it's actually real that I can share. I'm going to share with my friend B and her book club. Give me wisdom. That's what I talk to God. Oh, I have this issue. I'm looking for maybe a partner in this particular project. Can you open a door to find a partner? That's how I talk to God. I'm sick. I'm sick all the time. I want healing. I pray for healing. I take my medication and use this medication to heal me. Right? We're going to Japan tomorrow, by the way. Can you protect us as we fly? So that's the way I deal with deception, where I can go back to the blackboard. Who is in control? I'm not in control. I don't know what is tomorrow, but I know that there's a supreme being. Some people call it whatever you want to call it. For me, I call him God, and he's personal, and he loves you and me. I'm not a favorite child to God. We are all loved by God. So that's kind of the way my faith has informed all the pain that I've been through, to know that I'm not in control, but that there's a loving God who actually has my best. Even when I go through the bad season, I know he's doing something. He's doing something. He's doing something. And I can trust in that. I don't trust on myself. I trust that there's a sovereign, good Father. I call him my Father, who is in control of my life. And he's going to turn, the Bible says he turned everything for what the Satan, the enemy meant for evil, to my good. And I've seen it over and over and over. I hope I answer your question. If it's
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a trust is the thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And as technically, I'm a technologist. I'm rational. By the way, I'm very rational. It's sometimes difficult to trust, especially somebody that we don't. Even my husband. I see my husband. He tell me every time, you don't really trust me. And I had to be honest that, yeah, sometimes I don't trust that you're gonna get. I feel like I need to be in control. I'm a control freak, and I had to repent about that, because I want everything to be the way I want and perfect. And I know if I drive, the thing is going to work out. But with God is trust. I'm learning that you have to rely on something that you don't have control. And I don't have control on tomorrow. We can do all the planning, right? But you don't know tomorrow. You don't know you're going to have an accident. You don't know, right? So that's trust, by the way. That's trust.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And also, just another question. Reading the book, I just feel like you never stop. And have you ever taken a moment, like just sit there and doing nothing?
It's hard. You pick a good trait of mine. I'm an A-type person. It's hard for me to stop. It's hard.
I think in some way, I think you need to sit down and take care of yourself, like pay attention to yourself, like just hug yourself. I think you're like too busy taking care of everybody else. I think you need to take care of yourself. That's my thinking.
Wei is a doctor, by the way, trained to be a Western doctor, but now deeply believe in the Chinese medicine. So she's trying to take care of everyone.
Wow,
well, I think, yeah, sometimes doing nothing is just let things happen. I think take a deep breath.
you are totally correct. I will not even push back on that. My husband tell me the same thing. My children tell me the same thing. By the way, I ask ChatGPT. I use AI. I will claim that I use AI for productivity in my daily life, and AI get to know me more and more now with what I've ask AI. I was asking AI yesterday because I was watching a YouTube or a podcast about what is her name? I think Young Peter Young is one of the big AI influencer, thought leader. He's a product leader at Roblox, if I remember Roblox, one of this company. But he has a podcast every week where he interview thought leader in AI. And one of the prompt this week was, have you ever asked for AI tough feedback? You know, like in company, B and I were at Yahoo, where we do 360, you get feedback from you, people you work with. And what he was saying is that AI usually doesn't give tough feedback. AI try to be nice. I check AI. I was asking based on what you know about me, based on our what I've asked you interaction. Can you give me some tough feedback? One of the feedback, I just want to echo what you are saying. The way she put it, like you are doing so much for everybody else, and that you don't have time to take care of yourself. I was like, oh my goodness, how do you know that? But yeah, I just wanted to tell you that, yeah, it's interesting that you pick it up from the book. I am a go-getter. I don't know how to do it, to be honest, and I'm learning. I
I
can
don't
just,
know how you can do what you do, but
I mean, did you suffer any sleep deficiency? Years of lack of sleep?
not really. I've learned to function with little sleep. Like when I was doing my PhD, I don't even know. Like I was in the clean room when I was doing my silicon germanium MEMS, and I sleep a little bit. Then I have to go back to the furnace to see, oh, how am I wafer? So I've learned to function in little sleep. As in corporate America, depending on the season, if I have a big presentation to my executive, a lunch, go to market, I sleep little, but when the product is a little like on the cruise just roadmap and all that, I can sleep more. But the more I'm getting older, I'm in my 40s now, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. I just realized it, that I need time to sleep. I need time to just relax, like you were saying, not think about work, not think about what is next. I'm always thinking about what is next. Can I just go to the beach? I'm having hard time to go. We're in California. We have beautiful beach during the summer. I'm having time to just go and chill out on the beach. I'm always thinking about what is the next thing, or the kids, or this activity, or this particular paper. So I need help. Thank you for pointing. If you have some technique.
so I am into Buddhism. So
Okay.
the real, well, according to Buddhism, it's a mindful. It's everybody's using mindful. It's just being in the moment, like right now, how you feel in your body.
Okay.
Like when you eat, you just pay attention what you in front of you in your plates, how the food tastes. It's just
Okay.
live in the moment. When you walk,
Yes.
your first step on the road, and how you the first things to your body,
I
like
see.
you feel your body, not in your head.
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
I just yeah, that's
Mhm.
Just feel your
I
body,
just yeah,
not in your head.
just slow down.
Just slow down.
But yeah,
Thank
I
you. Thank you. I will try that. When you eat, focus on the food. Don't focus on what is next.
Well, yeah, just the present. So past can is already happened. I mean, you always look in the future, which is not happening yet.
Mhm.
And like if you go back to the past and you get depressed, for somebody, but if you worry about the future, you get anxious. So
Anxious.
only the why it's called the present. It's a present.
Mhm.
It's a gift.
Mm,
Present is the gift. It's
mm,
like you need to just pay attention to what's in front of you, what's at this right moment.
mhm.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I like it. I like it.
I just
Well,
want you to, yeah, be healthy and happy at the same time.
thank you. Thank you. I appreciate. Thank you for the advice. Thank you.
Well, we have another Chinese doctor here,
Oh my
Jenny.
goodness.
Jenny is a full-time Chinese
Hi.
medicine doctor.
Yeah. Well, I'm very impressed with what have been done, and it's like we try very hard. Like from med school. This is my 40th med school graduation. So we try very hard when you're at school, but hard to imagine you taking 26 credits a semester. It's just so amazing that, I mean, we couldn't do that, you know.
I'm sure
So
you can do it. I'm sure you can do it.
no, it was. I mean, I know med school is very hard, and as way as know that, and we just like even when we study, when we eat, we study before we sleep, and we study the minute we open our eyes, and it still doesn't seem to be enough. So I very impressed with what you have been done in your life, in your career, and all that stuff. And but Wei was right, and I mean, in the past I've seen like so many patients. Now I just have to. I mean, we're older than you, so we have to
You
we
have
have
to
to
slow
take
down.
care of body.
Yeah.
We get up to our 60s, and our body telling us to slow down, need to take care of yourself, and balance your lifestyle and all that stuff. So that's that's something in our life that we learn about these things. And another thing very important about the religion, when we grow up in China, when we're young,
Mhm.
and under Mao, we really do not promote religion.
Mm.
And so that's why we didn't have a whole lot of religion study and who
Mm.
you believe. But we believe, I mean, with all this life experience, and we do think that there's something up there. And
Amen.
there's a universal life.
Mm.
And whether or not it's Jesus, whether or not it's Buddha and Guan Yin or whatever. So
Mhm.
that it's just like we're different mankind,
Mm.
like, and people from different country. And I do think there's like a different kinds of gods out there, and it's one of the belief that we have. And I've seen patients and seen family members when they pass away, and before they pass away, this like very common scenes that we see, and how they were kind of talking to the outside, and it's still like halfway going to that heaven or whatever, the halfway, the like tunnels. There's a lot of books talking about that too. Like they talk about very bright tunnels. And one of the book by a doctor actually,
Mhm.
and I don't know you read about that book, and is he got injured and he was at ER. He worked at ER too, and
Mhm.
it's all this rescue and all that stuff, and he knew that he was going that way, to another life or whatever. But and then it's you see the bright star and all that stuff, really bright tunnels. So I never been there, but I heard people talk about these things, and I seen patients talking about that, before. Yeah, I seen a lot of patients actually that they talk about these things,
Oh,
and
really? Ah.
yeah, I'm
I have
like,
a book here that I'm reading. Heaven is real. I'm actually. We are going to Japan tomorrow to relax
nice,
with my
nice,
kids and my husband. So I'm
uh-huh,
taking the book with me. And to your point, I've read many story of people who are in between. They call it the not really dead, but they have this experience where they almost
right,
and they go
right.
to the tunnel and the bright light. And what the author is claiming is basically heaven, heaven where
Yes,
you,
exactly. So I read about this true stories, and also heard about my patient talking about that too.
uh,
And actually, I have experience with my mom when my mom passed away too.
uh,
Like before that, and she was talking about, oh, I seen someone that was a pilot, airplane, and I see someone was there's a boat coming in, and all that stuff like that. We were like, she actually died of cancer and have a staph infection when they put the pig lines in, so
mm,
unfortunate, and they pick up the staph infection in the hospital.
mm.
Anyway,
I'm
so she
sorry.
was talking about all these things, and I said, Mom, who was that? And she said, oh, it's like someone, and say the name, and that was my husband's, like a relative that passed away a while ago. My husband never seen him. And
Mm,
that's kind of rare. And I talked to my husband. I said, oh, it was someone I never seen. It passed away.
mm,
And my mom never met him. And
mm,
he can talk about these things.
mm,
I'm like, gosh, how could that happen? It's not coincidence, and it's something. There's a lot of universal energy we just do not know yet. When you go out of this, the space, go out of the earth. When you look at the earth, got down there, it's just like a little dust. So we're just so like we were like nothing almost, But yet in that small world, and we are all living in one planet in one world like that too. So that's something after that, and then later on she was talking about just a bow, and she's gonna write the bow and all that stuff, and it was really interesting. And then later on, after my mom passed away, and my brother took my mom's ash back to China. So which is what my brother was doing is with the ash, and my brother fly back to China. So that's an airplane, going back. And then there's one time after flew into Hong Kong, and he had to take the ash and wood with the bow and the ferry back to my hometown. So it's like now I'm thinking about an airplane, a boat. That's exactly match what my mom was saying, before she passed. It's really fascinating. And even though we grew up and talking about like Wusan, which is like in China back then, like there's no God, nothing, no religion, but we all the life we experience all this stuff, and you don't see it. It doesn't mean that it's not exist.
Yeah.
So those are things that make me with life goals, and then make me like, gosh, I wonder, all these things you're wondering, what's going on, we'll realize what is like after our life, before our life.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally believe these things now. I don't know about you guys, but it's just all this experience. And there's actually a scientific study talking about talking about how much it weighs your hun, like a spirits in your body. So one is another thing we talking about the difference, because I study Western and Eastern, Chinese medicine and Western medicine.
Yeah.
So when we're at med school, one of the very interesting things that we talk about is we do have Chinese medicine study. So we always look down on the Chinese medicine, Western medicine, they always say, oh, we're the best, right? So we always look down. So when the Chinese professor, medical school professor, they're talking about meridians, energy, and all that stuff. So being a Western medical school students, and we're like, we can't see this because we go to look at the body every day. We can see your heart, we can see your lung, all the organs. We can see the nerve, we can see the artery, all that stuff. We would not see a meridians. So that's really interesting. We're like, oh, you just lie, there's nothing in there. And then what the professor was saying at that time, now I think back, and it's just like, we're so stupid ask these questions. And the professor said, what you're looking, it's a dead body. What we're talking, human being, life, and it's a life person. That's why the dead body has no energy. The life person have energy. So we have chi, we have energy. We have the huan in our body. That's why it's different. That's why you can't see it. Our people die, the energy left your body and go somewhere else. And then that's really interesting. Now we look back, I'm like, gosh, we were so stupid at that time. We thought we know everything at med school, but no, we don't know anything, So that's a really interesting true story that I've been through med school at that time. And now when I look back to these things, and there's another study also talking about can't remember what country is in UK or in another country, United States. They weight the body when they are like about to die. So they put them in a table, like a bed. They have scales in there. So they really close monitor that, and a lot of time they come up how much actually your huan costs, which is your spirit. They actually weight them. and after they die, they actually less, like how many ounces less after that. So that's really interesting. You should check that out, like Google that. It's a
Jenny.
true, yeah.
In the interest of time, I think life and death, this is too heavy, too big a topic. I think
I'm
I
sorry.
read
I just
something. No,
talk about too
I'm
much.
just saying, let's go back to the book if
Yeah, sure.
possible. And Mary, I was interested in the very beginning of the book where you talk about you get the visa. The lady said, "Don't forget your motherland."
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's from an American lady telling
Yes.
you that.
Yes.
And then you talk about the collective success, you're comparing country like tradition, respect, community matters more than individual achievement. I mean, that's very like respect the old,
Yes.
as Chinese, we've been taught that as well. So my question is several aspects. Like I want you to compare maybe Cameroon culture, US culture, and this collective culture versus individualistic culture in the US. And also, I think at least me, I have the perception like when people talking about African countries, right? We're thinking about uh, you know, a poor continent. You
Mm-hmm.
know, my friends visited Cameroon told me there's still some brutality, men like beat their wife and all that. So, but when I read your book, I have a total different image about how
Thank you.
beautiful and the food, how sophisticated, all
Thank
that is a similarity to the Chinese culture. So,
you.
sorry, it's many layers. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I'm happy that you pick up a lot of good layer from the book. In terms of culture, African culture in general, I would say there are probably exceptions, but I say in general, it's very similar to actually the Eastern Asian culture. I see a lot of similarity. You talk about respect. Elderly is considered sacred. Let me put it that way. That when an elder speak, it does it. You don't speak up. I was a different actually kid because I used to question my mom. I used to question people. If you read the book, but you don't question authority in Cameroon. You don't many times you don't say what you think. Like humility is basically being quiet compared to the US, where the kids are my kids, the way they grow up. I mean, they tell me what they think. They are very open and just say if they don't like something, they say they don't like. In Cameroon, even if you don't like something, next to your adult, next to your parent, you don't say it. It's respect. You don't call people by their first name. I still have a hard time with that in the US. If you are older than I say auntie, uncle, ma'am, sir, is that respect? Teacher, like I tell my friend, you don't call a teacher by his first name. I still have my teacher, I call them professor, but in America you call them by the first name. That's another part of the respect. The collective success, you talk about the collective, there's this phrase ubuntu actually became a OS. I did netbook, I built the first netbook at Intel, and ubuntu was one of the Linux OS. It came from the name came from Zulu, South African culture. We say I am because we are. So you don't exist as individual. Your existence, who you are, come from the collective. It takes a village, the same expression, it takes a village to raise a kid. So as you are raised by you know that you are not on your own. You are not. What you become is because somebody paved the way, and you also have a responsibility to give back, that collective thing. So the auntie, like when I was growing up, the neighbor was like my mom. If my mom is that, she can punish me, she can spank me. We spank it, right? She can spank me, she can tell you do your homework. She doesn't have to be. She's just is that community that you trust. The neighbor will take care of your kid if you're not there. The uncle, the auntie, and today you return as an adult. You have a responsibility to take care, to help, to those people who are older, who might not have maybe the means. You help to take care of the other people. So that's kind of the whole collective respect of adult. The food is a big thing for African culture. I see that in Chinese. There's always enough. We say that in Africa. Like if there's one bread we are 10, we share. We share. You cut it in 10 pieces. It's better that everybody has a little piece than one person say, this is mine because I pay for that. This is mine. So food was like a cherished moment for family. A lot of different food that I don't even know how to explain to people who don't. Vegetable. We do a lot of cassava, a lot of spice that don't exist. Different curry. It's not really the Indian curry. Different type of paste and curry to make the food that make it really rich. It was really rich food. It's not. It's very rich. I have hard time now to eat some of my food because it's very rich. Put a lot of stuff. We believe in putting a lot of stuff. It gives the flavor, but it's very filling. Makes you full. So yeah, food was a big thing in our culture. So that's kind of the similar when I see the main difference. I mean, some of the difference with the US culture, again, individualists, we are not individualist country. It's very much community. My space, I was not used to that in the America. This is my space. Make sure that you know, don't come to my space, right? We were all together. Like, let me give you an example. Even I would call it maybe not wise, but if the first few time in the US, when my best friend had cold, she was Jackie Tasman Margaret in Virginia. And I want to, because in Africa, when somebody is sick, that's where the family wants to come and show support and show love. She said, don't come, I'm going to make you sick. I was not used to that. It's now coming. Okay, that's where you get germ. At the time, we were not thinking about germ. We were not thinking about germ. We are just thinking about the warmth of the people who love you, who want to come and visit you. It's actually good to come and visit somebody when they are sick. You don't think about, oh, I'm going to carry the germ. But yes, like, oh, this, don't touch this because you're going to get germ. So I was not used to that. Now I'm very like, with the kids getting germ, I'm like, please wash your hands 10 times before you come in. So that's like that community thing. And to the point of the visa situation, I shared the whole experience. It's difficult to get a visa. It's still difficult today, by the way. It hasn't changed. I left the US in 98. I see many of the younger generation, Gen Z, coming to the US or to Europe is difficult because they think that you're going to come and stay, and most people probably stay because they want to get a better future for themselves and for their family. So to give you a student visa, they will ask you so many documentation, so many paper. Of course, the money is one of the big things. Most people, you don't even have the money to pay your tuition. Then after the money, I told you, I did a TOEFL test of English as a foreign language, and my transcript and the question that usually shut down the whole thing. Show me that you're going to come back. There's no one document. You can say my dad has a farm, my this has this. It doesn't prove anything. Your dad has a farm, you can decide to stay. So for my visa, for those if you don't remember that part of the conversation, when the US consul, that was 98, I still remember that conversation. She looked at me, she looked at all the documentation I provided, and she take like 5 minutes, and I'm like almost like my heart is beating fast at that situation. I was 19, I still remember. And I'm like, is she going to refuse? They just refuse. I see a lot of young people that just came out of the office. They were crying. They didn't get the visa. Is she going to refuse me the visa also? But I had peace. Again, I pray. And I just felt like God told me, you're going to get the visa. So after 5 minutes of just looking at the documentation, she looked at me. She said, Marie-Ange, she said, Miss Ayum, you are very bright. You are an excellent student. And it was because of the transcript. I was a student all over middle school and high school. She said, I don't care. She never asked me the question, you show me that you're going to come back to Cameroon. She said, I don't care if you ever come back to your country. I will encourage you to come back. Cameroon need bright mind like you to develop. I will give you the student visa. That was the end. And as a young girl, and she told me America will try to keep you. She told me that. And as a young girl who is coming from a developing country, America, yes, it's 100, but I didn't understand. Like I was 19, I was just trying to go to become an astronaut, to pursue my dream. I didn't understand when she meant America would try to keep you. But never forget where you are coming from. This country need bright man. And as I grow up and I get all these opportunities.
By the way, Marie-Ange, American did.
Yes. Because I got the green card easily, I got the citizenship easily, all this opportunity came, right? Now I remember as I'm growing up, that's what that woman was talking about. She was an American, and I've never been abroad at the time. I didn't know America. That's what she was talking about. And meanwhile, during all this journey, by the way, I never forgot home. Every time I go home, I either mentor, give talk. I look back where I'm coming. I go back to my high school, to my middle school. Even last time I went 3 years ago with my kid, I brought them in my high school where I got my baccalaureate. My I want to show them it's not, it's messed up, it's poor, it's totally, they were just surprised where I'm coming from. But these are the moment, this made me who I am. I cannot denigrate that part of my identity. This is where I came from. So I go give back scholarship. So I never, through that journey, I never forgot. So as I'm writing that chapter, by the way, I think about a young girl now, a young boy who is now maybe facing the visa situation. I say, I remember this from the council, never forget. And my call to action today, as I'm continuing my journey, wherever God is taking me, is to reach out to young girl, young boy who are passionate, who are ambitious, and who believe their dream can never become a reality. I want to tell you, speaking to that young African, young Cameroonian, that you can be whatever you want to be. And I'm coming back for you to give you the baton, to tell you the sky is the limit. So that's what was going on in my mind as I'm writing that part in the council.
I hope that's still kind of true for a lot of young people get that opportunity to come into United States in this situation.
Yeah, it's hard. I also want to encourage them that America is not the solution. I got a lot of great opportunity. I had to work for the opportunities. No, it was never given for free. Even when you come here, it's not. People have told me, I mean, you have different story of American dream. Some people come, they don't do anything, and they become even, they get into the whole whatever it is, and they don't succeed. Other people come and they succeed. So, but what I'm trying to tell the young people as I'm looking at myself, I was bright, I was passionate, and many people told me that your dream, women cannot go to the moon, women don't do that. So I want to encourage them that whatever dream you have, keep on pursuing them. It might be in Cameroon. I mean, I'm helping a lot of people starting business. They have ideas, entrepreneurship idea. How do we get it done? What are the problems in the continent with my product leadership background from all this big tech? What are the problems? How do you test the market, customer? How do you find, your first go-to-market strategy? It can be in Cameroon, or it can be coming to the US. It doesn't have to. The US, I don't want to make them feel is the answer. We need people. I'm so sad when I see our country. I mean, Cameroon has been going through a lot right now, but a lot of the brain, we call it brain dead. People who are smart are leaving the country because of all what the political environment. So we need people in the country to develop the country. I'm doing my part as I can. Actually try to go back, by the way. That's another topic. I tried to go back a couple of times. How can I make more difference? And I realized that I'm actually making more difference being abroad than being on the ground. Sometimes being on the ground is not the solution. So being abroad, I'm actually being able to help more people on the ground. So as I speak to young people many times now, I do a lot of mentorship and all that. Your dream can become reality. I put together the purpose framework. It could be in Cameroon that you fulfill your dream. It might not be in big tech. It might be whatever, farming, whatever you are doing. How do we use AI? How do we get it to the next level? Or it can be going abroad. So don't limit yourself that I have to go to America or have to go to France. You can actually be the answer, the next leader we need the next leader of our nation. Who is going to be that leader in our nation? It's going to start from the young people.
Yeah, speaking of young people, marriage. So, one question for you. So, in addition to just reflect yourself, right, your experience, your personal experience, what do you want young people to take away from your book?
Beautiful question. You're asking all the right question. I want the young people as well as everybody who read the book. That's why the title, I don't know if you read the first preface very carefully, for such a time as this. I share the experience of Esther, again, coming back from my background in as a Christian in the Bible. Esther is in the book in the Bible that talk about a young girl. Her name was Esther. She was a slave, and she was taken in captivity from Israel at the time to Babylon and then Persia, who destroyed Jerusalem. And as part of the whole taking captivity like a slave, there was, by divine circumstance, many things happened. She became the queen in Persia, in a foreign country. And in that moment, she didn't release her identity. Nobody knew she was a Jew. She was a slave coming to become a queen. And there was a plot that was done to kill all the Jewish people at the time. And and she's in the palace now as a queen. Her uncle, who raised her because her parent died, she was an orphan, learn about the plot and go in hiding to talk to Esther in the back door. Say, Esther, guess what? There's a plot that say they're gonna kill all the Jewish. Now you're in the palace. Don't you think that maybe you were called for such a time as this in the palace? For such, my title is for such a time as this. And the premises of my why that title, it became so evident in my story that we all, you and I and these young people, we have been called for such a time as this. We all have talents. She became the queen. That was her talent or whatever. She went from a slavery, bad to probably raping with all the battles that were happening when they destroyed Jerusalem to be at that position. I'm telling them that you might be going from maybe a poor family like me, a single family home, divorce, my parent witnessed divorce, broken family, you were broke, I was broke, all that. But all this experience doesn't disqualify you to make a difference. You can still live a life of purpose. If you see in the beginning of the book, I've developed a purpose framework. At the end of the book, I finish with the purpose framework. Quickly, I will go through the purpose framework in order to live a life of impact and success. P for preparation. You can prepare. There are baby steps that you can take to prepare for the end goal. U for unwavering faith. Unwavering faith means that your particular identity, who you are, you were born in China, your talent, God has created you for bigger things. You should believe that your life matters. R for resilience. Life will challenge you. We all have different challenge. Could be financially, it could be sickness, it could be family. But with resilience, you can stand through the challenges. P, who you are. P, the other P for purposeful action. You need to take action that are leading to your impact. So for me, for instance, I wanted to become an engineer. Taking the engineering class, I wanted to become the best engineer. Going to Berkeley, it was tough. I knew it would be tough, but I took those actions to be able to get where I am. Or for other focused leadership. True success for me today is lifting other people, looking back. There's always somebody, even if you're a young person, who is what have you learned that you can teach to somebody else, to a younger person than you? Look back around you, give back. That's the others. I am very passionate about living a life, not selfish, but giving my time, giving my resource, giving the pie is big enough, guys. The pie is big enough. We can help each other to succeed. S for steadfast courage. What courageous step are you taking today, tomorrow to get to that impact? I had to take a lot of courageous steps, and I didn't have time to share. That sometimes I'm not popularly correct. Sometimes being popular is not what you need. It's being courageous, being integrity, speak up. You know, say I went through a lot of that, like courageous step. And E for excellence. Excellence will amplify your impact. I'm still even today striving for excellence in everything. I'm not talking about perfection. We all make mistake. If I make mistake, I say sorry, I messed up. But striving to be the best and to continue to excel. So that's the purpose framework that I developed to live as a roadmap to anybody, any young person, that they can live that life of purpose and impact. So that's the message I want to leave to the young people.
You're so passionate.
Very passionate. You should totally do a audio version of your book.
Yes, I am. I'm looking into that right now for the holiday, since I have time during the holiday to spend time to speak. Yeah, to share the book audio book. Yeah.
So Crystal and Selena, I know you guys, and Jenny, Jennifer, you guys have any questions?
Okay, I'll ask one question, or maybe two. Why did you decide to write this book?
Why did I decide to write the book?
Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier, I got invited to different events, different podcasts the last couple of years, where depending on the audience, I was able to share part of the story, not the entire story. And every time I've spoken to different events, the audience, sometimes it's women, sometimes it's Black people, sometimes it's international students, sometimes it's African people, sometimes it's leaders. They've resonated in different part of the story. And the resonating feedback was, you need to write it down, you need to write it down. I never had time to write down. I never had time. I've been going back and back. So this March, I was at Meta, I did all the big tech, Intel, McAfee, Amazon, Roku, Yahoo, and Meta. Meta is my last gig I finished in March. And instead of looking for a job, I was like, this is actually the time to write this story. Why am I just, I've always like you, am a genuine and where you gave me you just spoke to my life that you need to rest. I was looking for another job, jump in another wagon. It's like, you never had time to rest. You keep on going to what do you want to be remembered? You are going to, I'm 45 right now. I have maybe 20 years of my life to continue to. What do I want my next 20 years to be? What do I want if something happened to me? People behind me, the legacy what I want to leave. So that was the whole thing that was going on in my life, where I was like, okay, you have time. You got to already feedback from different people, write it down, and you want to jump in another job. What do you want? Do you want to jump in another crazy 80 hours job? What do you want? So it was this whole thing, sitting down and reflecting. And to be honest, it's been one of the most beautiful thing I've done. Just reflecting. So it was like the journaling part. Somebody asked me about journaling. That was my journaling. And then I start putting chapter and chapter and chapter. And it was a beautiful process. And seeing how people have resonated with the book and the story just keep me humble and just I did the right thing.
Is French your first language?
Yes,
I know
French.
Cameron is a francophone.
Yes, Marie-Ange. Marie-Ange is French. It means Mary Angel.
That's why you guys got married in front of the Eiffel
Paris,
Tower.
yes.
Oh,
Actually, more. Let me give you a little bit backstory. Most of our family is either in France, because many of the Cameroon go to France for study. So a lot of people are in France. My sister is in Germany. I have a brother in Poland. People came from Cameroon and Montreal in Canada. So the East Coast and France, we are the only one in California in the US, by the way, my husband and I. We don't have any family around here. So the East Coast and France was practical. When we got married there, it was not supposed to be a destination wedding, even though it became a destination. Many of my friends from the US really wanted to visit Paris, and there was a wedding. They were so excited. But the goal was not to make it a destination. It was like, what is practical? It's difficult to get visa. Those people are going to have hard time to get visa to the US. We are US citizens. We can just, it was just the two of us. We can easily go to France. Let's do the wedding. And because all the family of my husband in France, they organize everything. They find the chateau, they find everything. We came and just got married. We didn't have to even do the planning and all that. They did all that. So it was actually practical, very practical for us.
beautiful. So Crystal, other people, you guys have more questions?
Yuanting, just to, I think Marie-Ange is traveling tomorrow. Maybe you will have one more last question.
Yeah, you have a big trip tomorrow.
Yes, I'm going
international trip. So any other questions? I know Crystal, you read the whole book almost.
Wow. Yeah. What are you looking for? The future for the you, at the end of the book you say something. You are making an organization, or you making a club for the future girls, future leaders. So what's the future plan about things that you write in the books?
Okay, I think I know what you're referring. I was sharing some of my passion and my involvement, even as a technologist and as a leader, and now what legacy, what do I want to be remembered? So I'm very involved in the promotion, the encouraging girls and minority into STEM. Why is that? Because throughout my journey, you guys can identify we are all women. I have been the only one at the door. I mean, Bay, you remember Yawo, the only one in the room. I've been in some boardroom where there's nobody that looks like me, right? So where do we start? When I start the conversation, how do we get more, a variety of people, diversity? And the more you have a diverse board where the decisions are being made, the more we make better decisions. Research show that, because you touch all the customer base, you don't just focus on one set of customer. So we know data show that we need a diverse board. So how do we get more people different background, different race, nationality, or back on the table. So I have a passion to say more women, more minority at the table where the decisions are being made. And we need to start very when they are young. I look at my daughter is 10. She is excited about STEM. She loves it. She's good. My niece came from Germany to live with me. She was 16. And I was trying to encourage her to go to STEM. It was too late. She was scared. She didn't have good grades. She was in the same school as my daughter. She was in Los Gatos Public School, which is a good public school. She was already like, her mind was already made up. So I think we need to start very young, right? Very young. I'm starting with girls that are 4, 5, 6, 7, telling them that STEM is fun. It doesn't have to be. I was told that girls don't go to the moon. Girls can't do mathematics. No, it's actually fun. How do we make it interesting? How do we make it something that they start getting passionate very, very young? So many of the organizations that you are touching, Green Scholar, Tech Woman is a little older, but it's the same mission. Upward, I've been part of the board of director of Upward. Is how do we get more women in board position across the board? So all the stuff I'm doing is tied to that. How do we bring more girls very young into STEM career? How do we continue to grow the pipeline, making the interesting field? And then when you get to the top, like many of us, how do we get more seated at the board? So that's something that is really, really personal to me.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, any conclusions, Bei? Thank you so much for inviting your friend, and this is great. Oh my gosh.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. Thank you for reading the book. Please, thank you. I really appreciate.
If you make it into Audible, I'm sure a lot more people are going to listen to it because people are busy, and this is a beautiful book to read.
Okay, so I'll put you on my calendar. This winter break, I will take time to do it on Audible. Yeah.
And you can hire someone. You don't have to do it yourself.
You're
use
right.
AI. Use AI to read it.
To read it. Yes, I heard people doing that. I heard that. Yeah.
I think the personal, more personal. I think
My accent, like I got good
I like
feedback that people
yeah.
want to hear your accent because
It's good. It's good. It's good.
authentic.
I like it. Yeah. Mhm.
If
Yeah.
you have time, one request, if you can put a review on Amazon, the more you have reviewed, the more Amazon
That's
share your
true.
book through the algorithm, right? The algorithm works based on review. So if you have time, I will appreciate any review, whatever you took out of the book.
Thank you.
Well, thank you
have
so
a safe
much.
Should
trip
do that for
tomorrow.
sure.
Yeah, I'm so admire
Thank you.
you. You are have big, strong trust to God. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you.
I will believe in God, but sometimes when have something very difficult or some people like very nice and then they die so early. I'm just wondering. Where God, where are you? Yeah.
I'm happy to share more about faith if you want. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm happy. I do that all the time with different people to share what makes me my faith, what are some of the things that I've learned, and if you have questions and learn from each other. So we can connect on LinkedIn if you want to chat more about the faith issue.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks
thank
again.
you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great trip tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Well，大家还想聊吗？随便你们。
这挺好的话题。是，就很多就是那个就是 religion 的问题，所以有时候怎么说呢？好像好多时候还是我们认识不够，学习不够，就是这样子。
Religion 这个话题太大了。
对对对，
因为
够
religion 其实我们都是，但是真的是有时候遇到事情的时候，你真的不知道为什么，就是好像那个 trust 就是不够，你知道，你就是还是要 trust 你自己。
是很多人，就像你刚才说的，说什么有些时候，有些人经常去 church，好像 lot of faith to God，为什么他又就很快的就 有问题了，有
我
病了，
就是很想
死了。
不明白，我常常就这样子想不明白，所以我真的是
对对，我经历好多这问题，有好多人也说，但是所以就是说，我们年轻的时候都可能根本是学习不够，现在好多人还是继续有 Bible study，有可能就很深奥的东西，我们不太了解。现在可是有些人也是继续学习 Bible 吧，就是说好多人问我们那个Buddhism，但是我们其实说我们是 Buddhism，但是我们对佛教的那个研究也不够，也不是什么。
我觉得这种东西，就是信仰这种东西，并不是说就马上就能够见效，直接的这种，我想要什么，我想要财富，我就得到财富。我觉得如果去那样去理解，肯定是有点儿，虽然我还没信呢，但是我觉得不是那种立刻见因果的那种关系，包括健康吧，我觉得不能说我就信了，我就肯定不得病了什么什么的。anyway，这是我的粗浅的理解。
我是觉得这个叫 Marine 是吧？他叫这，我觉得他的信心真的是很够很够。你看他遇到任何事情，他真的，我感觉到他就是真的是觉得，他一定的就是说神一定会这样，他就是信心特别大。我
有怎么说呢？有些人在不同的情况下，他觉得是他的信仰会对他有帮助，而且是显示了那个时候真的是有转折点，
是
所以
信则灵这个东西，
对对对，
信仰的
他有转
力量。
折点，所以他就很信了。所以就是这样子。
我也希望我能那样，但是我还没有修行到那个地面。但是这个真是你自己的，就是你自己要信才能够。
因为信心有很多人都相信，但有些人是属于强，有些人比较弱。就是有些人，就是说我从他这边，我真的觉得他特别的很强很强，就
他
是他
是很强，
真的是
他真的
那我感觉他
是很强。
100%。那像我们的话，我们是相信，但是其实我们相信，我们也相信他会来救赎我们，但是你还是有多少的地方，你还是有点像 wondering，就是有点点说，
我是很羡慕非常信的人，因为我觉得真的就是
是的，
冥冥当中就是你要相信，你就 believe 这个东西是在帮你，
是的，是的，是的。像有些就是你看你生病，或者有时候我真的是，比如说你一生病，你还第一句话你还不一定会去祷告，你可能第一个先去看医生，你知道吧？就是这样子。但事实上你应该先祷告，然后再去看医生，就是这个信心就是不一样。
好多人那个就是基督教徒嘛，他都是 pray， 好多时候都是好像发那个 Facebook 或者是什么这样 ，please pray with me，you know， 这怎样那种力量 pray 的力量，其实他有时候有效，他也是做些实验，也是觉得真的有效。所以
刚刚那个 Marie 嘛，他就是一直真的是他是真心的在祷告，是叫 Marie 对吧？Maria 啦。
他这个是个法语的名字，所以不好拼，不好发。什么 Marie-Ange 什么什么的。
就是他刚才说好像 Marie-Ange 的那个拼出来的那个。
OK，yeah，
所以这真的是有时候去看自己的情况，有时候怎么样，还是好的事儿还要靠自己。这是怎么控制自己，怎么去解决问题，当然是怎么思考问题，也是一个很重要的。有点精神寄托嘛，也挺好的。让自己有一些安慰，自己好像怎么说呢，就有寄托，精神寄托有一点，这个也是挺重要的。
所以这本书我是看了它的大概哈，但是我没有真正这本书是从哪里？我在那个 Amazon 啊，不是在那个叫做 Audit 那个地方，audio 那个 book 里面我没有找到这本书，
所以
我在微信里面也没有找到这本书，所以我不知道在哪里找。
要在 Kindle 上
，Kindle 又在 Kindle，
因为所以我最后跟他说，你一定要出 Audible 的，因为大家现在这个生活的节奏，你看经常是车里面，车里经常干活啊啥的，这都能听，还是就是这样的话，非得是一本书
对，
更快。
这本书我哪都没找到，可能就是让你只能在
Kindle，
那个
你要
Kindle，对，因为
Amazon 买
audio，
Kindle 版本，
他不是
对，
说在 Amazon 吗？他就我们在
是
Amazon
在
凭
在在
借一下。
Amazon 上面买 Kindle 的版本，
对，明白
嗯，
了，因
嗯，
为我还要买，因为我有一个 app 是那个
299，
叫
二九
audio，OK
九才
OK，好的。
还好，嗯
OK，
嗯
就很便宜呀，没问题，那我去试试看呀，因
嗯
为就是没找到，平常就是 WeChat 跟个 Audio 是吧？一个叫
嗯哼
Audio Book 什么的，我知道
嗯哼
WeChat，
嗯，
好的好的，
行，谢谢袁婷。
哎，不
谢
客气不客
谢，
气，这真的是蛮
谢谢袁婷，
难得的，就是能
真的很棒，
请
我真的
请
很棒，
请
我就觉得这
作者来，
么一个人，他能够这样子的 passion，一个对 God 的一个 trust，再加上他自己的努力，再加他的那个人品，就是人的一个 passion 的一个证明，哎呀，真的是就塑造他这么一个人，真的是，
那这他写的文笔非常好
OK，
啊，完了以后他的故事，哎，真的是，嗯、我觉得就是通过他一个人就把你就对这整个这个非洲的这个整体印象都提升了很多，是的。就是它里面真的非洲人里面也有很聪明的，我记得我 graduate school 里面也有几个非洲人，真的是好聪明。当然就是说咱们也听了过很多的什么近亲结婚啊，什么低能儿啊，完了经常是靠救济啊什么什么的，但他整个这个的，我觉得真的也有非常非常聪明的人。
他最后一句话我也觉得特别好，他就
嗯
说，我听他这样意思啊，就是不管你
嗯
生活在一个，就是你的过去的那个家庭，就是说你的我们叫做什么家庭，原生家庭啊，或者说你以前受到任何的灾难、任何的不幸，你都可以用现在你的去改变，就是说我基本是这个意思，就是那些东西不能够限制你对你自己的生活有自己的生活，有自己的，不一定要被过去那些你的原始的或怎么样说，一定可能呀会那个阻碍你的那个，这个我觉得，
所以所以
因为有很
所以他就是他内心特别特别的强大，所以你说的这个信仰的力量，在
对
他的
信仰的力量加
身上真的
上这个，
是，嗯
对。
哼。
他一个信仰嘛，一个他有一个努力向上的 passion 嘛，你知道吧？他就是一直走。你的他之前 life 是人生给他的什么那个出生，对他今后要追随的是那不需要那就不会阻碍他，就是了他就是自己往自己想要走的走。因为我们常常会以为，哎呀，我们以前过去或者我们的家庭对我们的影响啊，我们的父母对我们的影响，事实上你自己是可以改变的。我就听他这里，
没错，这是就是你自己给自己找借口，就是说我之所以这么不幸，对吧？这么不成功，呃，他这个力量真的是很强大，我感觉就是信仰在他身上的这个力量。
很强大。我特别
嗯哼，
羡慕
嗯，
他那个他，因为我听他讲，因为我知道我们这边基督徒，我觉得他那个强，就是说他真的是相信，而且他就是像个 baby 一样，就是你说什么，你知道神那个 God，他就是相信，不像我们成人，我们还会有很多的，你知道，还想会有
的
点那个。
怀疑的疑问。
但尤其是他这种，就是后来学的是科学，你知道，他学的是数学，学的是那个电脑，完后在伯克利他也是读的，就是这方面的，完后就是搞的都是这种很高精尖的这种，完了还这么信，这是挺有意思的一个 combination。
我就像你们医生说的，我就觉得他这个人可能真的需要有一段休息的时间，因为他就是一直不停的运转，运转，我感觉有点像一个机器一样，他就是一直在动，他真的也是需要休息哦。
对你没看他，你要是真正看书，你没看他吃的是啥东西都是。完了，在那个实验室第一次去，他在大一还是大二的时候吧，就是他不是就说他 God 给了他一个这个机会嘛，因为就是NSF 的，就他根本本来就不应该有机会得到这种就是 undergraduate 的时候去各个去实验室做实验什么什么的。是真的是 God 给他这个机会，完了他去每天都是吃那个 noodle，每
面
天就是吃那种最便宜的 noodle，而且就是一买一
嗯，
大串，每天都吃那种，完了连别人都先开始是笑话他，后来发现他就是说， 就是没钱或者想省钱，完了后别人就开始也有真的是很好心的美国人，我也没问他，就是那种真就是多给他做一份，完了给他吃一点，要不然他每天都吃一样的东西。还有他那个在弗吉尼亚的那个房子才$50，我的天呐，他跟我来美国的时间差不多，我就说$50的房子租的那是啥呀？这是。他连那个生病了，吃了一个什么坏鸡蛋，完了后都没有钱去看医生。他写的那一段，我的天呐！
但好的时候，这种是经济上的困难可以转换成一种动力，对他自己来说一种动力，因为他想摆脱这种困境。所以好的时候，很多有些人是很优秀的，也是这样子，不一定要他家庭出身很好，他就好的是家庭出身不好，环境不好，儿子从那里重生，这怎么摆脱这个困境，就这样子。
但他也不是最差的。你看，他妈妈是医
他不
生，
差，他
嗯，
都说他考试高中、初中的那个成绩很好的，很聪明的一个孩子。
是
他不是说他
他那
要
个有一个
要拿签
programming，
证的
她是
时候吧？
唯一的一个女孩儿，
哎呀哎呀，
嗯，
所以他
但是
也是，
但你看他爸他妈也不是最穷的，他妈可是个医生。
嗯哼，呀。
就是最穷最穷的那些，我觉得也可能不一定能出来。
你看，要是在非洲当医生跟美国当医生就不一样。
那倒是，
你说要他
嗯，
父母给他钱过来这边读书，支持他也是很难的。
那非常非常难。他妈
说
只是
对呀对
只支撑他了第一个学期，他第
对呀，支撑
二个学期开始
不了。
就是得自己，再要不就说他
是，
一边上这个大学，他就2年半啊，别人4年，他为了省钱，
嗯哼。
这2年半上出来，完了后他妈付完一个学期以后就没有钱，他都得自己去 flip
嗯哼，
burger。
是做来做事儿，有好多时候都是这样子。
做完事儿完了，白天上课，下午做实验室，完了
嗯哼，
晚上在餐馆里做事。你看，至少
嗯
得几个小时，他才能挣出这个 hourly wage。完了后去回家才再读书。
嗯，他是很坚强，就好像说以前中国的医生也是，
嗯，
我爸爸做了几十年才70多块钱，到是退休的时候才70多块钱，那时候那个年代跟现在不一样，所以跟非洲他父母的情况可能也差不多，你可能比一般人数好一点，但是你是要到外面来说，肯定是支撑不了的，那个支
只不过
持不了。
而且他妈他爸离婚了嘛，只是他妈一个人的钱。
嗯嗯，那更难了，Yeah，对，这
All
书
right，
这书我也没读，我
嗯，
我在 ChatGPT 看了一下，
我也是在这个
我
那个，
ChatGPT 偷懒偷的，就是偷偷的
我是
看一下，
没找到这本书，
大概是怎么样？Yeah，这个挺
真的
OK，
很好，感谢啊！我
嗯，
真的是从头听
他的
到尾。
文笔真的非常好，
好的，
我真的不得，我还写下了很多的，就是记下来他的很多话。我不知道他是用，可能是他的编辑也比较好，他的
但是我看到他
文笔
的人，我真的
非常好。
是，我也
嗯
真的是特别佩服他。嗯，他这个，
嗯嗯
好嘞，晚了，谢谢大家
，Good night，晚
，OK，
安
拜
晚安，
拜，
嗯，拜
拜
晚安，
拜。
拜。
拜拜。